Hey, what's going on, world? NZD here with a second stimulus check update and a second stimulus package update and what's going on in Congress in Washington, D.C. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the time is ticking away. Tick-tock is going like the time is flying right now. Congress, Washington, D.C., they have about, say, what we on? About let's go with 8 more days, right? They have about, so right now, Washington and Congress, they have about 6 to 9 working days. Not even 6 to 9 working days. It's more like about 6 more working days, right? Because the deadline is going to be December 11th for the current budget. So the current government budget to keep the government running, the operations, all the departments, everything running, is going to be ending on the 11th. In addition to that, about a week after that, all the benefits from the CARES Act will also be ending. So you have the extension of unemployment insurance for many states that will be ending. You have the renters eviction moratorium that's going to be ending. You have the mortgage forbearance that's going to be ending. You have many things. And remember, that unemployment insurance bonus that ran out way back in like end of July, way back in the end. What was that? The end of August. So now you have many people still out of their job. They're collecting unemployment from the state, but that bonus extension for many states is running out. That deadline, once again, is coming up the end of December. Many things are going to be coming up the end of December. And right now, there are about 3 negotiations for different proposals that's going on the table. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Before I continue this video, please make sure you hit that like button so YouTube and the algorithm can know that this video is of value to you and others. So as we continue, the number right now is 908. 908. That's the big thing, $908 billion. And that's the recent proposal by a bipartisan group. So you have both Republican and Democrats on this one, like I said in the last video. And they're going to be putting something forward where it's about a $908 billion stimulus package proposal. And what they're trying to do is have things in there for PPP, for state and local government, for education, things for the virus. So there's also another proposal that's going to be on the table, and they're considering retroactive unemployment, insurance bonus dating back to the beginning of September. So right now, like I was saying, both Republicans and Democrats, they want to have a package go through before the end of the year, before the Christmas season. A lot of people right now is out of work, like we stated. There not many funds. You can't even do like side jobs or anything like that and pick up any part-time jobs. You know, before you probably could be able to do like 2-3 part-time jobs in addition to a full-time job, but all that is cut out, especially in like the retail industry, the service industry, the entertainment industry, which is a big part of the GDP. So now let's get back to that 908. So $908 billion stimulus proposal, and what we have in it is $288 billion for the PPP program, $180 billion for additional unemployment insurance. Not exactly sure if that's going to be retroactive, but I believe it's probably something where it was just starting to kick in for the unemployment insurance, and that's going to be about $300 a week for about the next 3 to 4 months. Some of the money, though, for this proposal will be coming out of money that was left over in the CARES Act. So there's about almost $300 billion, I think it's like $288 billion left over in the CARES Act, right? And that money was set aside, I think it was like a business lending program or something like that, but it had to be certain criteria, so a lot of business didn't want to mess with it. So that money is like in reserve, basically, and they're considering taking some of that money out and knock that down, that $908 billion. Now, if they take some of that money, that brings it down to like a proposal of actually $608 billion, probably even less. And that's something in the area where Mitch McConnell would like to hear of, because right now he's talking about his skinny proposal deal. Well, a lot of people's calling it skinny proposal deal, but his proposal deal, and he wants no more than $500 billion. And he wants to reduce the amount for state and local government. They don't want to be bailing out state and local government because they're thinking that these states and local government wasn't run right, and they don't they shouldn't have like access to this fund right now because they're going to be using it for something else. But a lot of state and local government are saying that they need this fund. They need this aid. Like if they come out with a vaccine, and yes, they have a vaccine. They have about a couple vaccines that's looking to get approved. So if they come out with these vaccines, how will the state and local government get this money to administer the vaccine? Yes, you can go to your private doctors and things like that. But if they're trying to do a big, like people getting vaccine, a large number of people getting vaccine, like setting up tents and all type of stuff like that, they're definitely going to need some funding. So that's where the state and local government is saying, hey, we need funding for the virus, for tracking the virus, for doing testing, for treatment, all that stuff that's needed in order to reduce the spread of the COVID right now. So President Trump is also saying, hey, we're close to getting a deal done. I'm not exactly sure if he's talking about the current 908. I'm calling it the 908 because that's what a lot of them are referring to, that number, $908 billion. You have a lot of people, you have a lot of the senators and representatives who came forward with this bill. They're saying, hey, yeah, the 908, and they're having interviews and they're referring it to as the 908. A lot of them is talking good about it. Now, in addition to that, now you have the problem-solving caucus. Remember the problem-solving caucus committee? They came up a few months ago, a couple months ago before election time with that. I think it was like $1.8, $1.9 trillion proposal. And they was pushing it. A lot of people was feeling that one. You know, a lot of people wanted that one to go through. But Nancy Pelosi really didn't want to budge. I think she was at like 2.2. She really didn't want to come down to the 1.9. In addition to McConnell, he didn't even want to go over $1 trillion. But there were some Republicans who were willing to back it. But I don't think Nancy Pelosi really wanted to go below the 2.2. But now we end up at $908 billion. So that's like a whole $1 trillion knocked off. So a lot of senators, a lot of Democrats is supporting this. They wanted to go forward, especially before the holidays, because what they're saying is if there's additional funding with the new presidency taking over, then we can come back to the table and we can negotiate. And also with the seats that's in Senate that's up for grabs, with that now we can consider who's going to have the majority within the Senate. And if it's divided, then the vice president will be Vice President Harris. She'll come out now and she'll be the tiebreaker. So they're saying, hey, let's get this $908 billion through. Let's get the unemployment bonus going. Let's get the $288 billion for the PPP program. Let's get $160 billion for state and local, $82 billion for education, $42 billion for transportation, and stimulus check. No money yet for stimulus check. Now, what they're saying is if they come to the board, because it's just all about vocal, they're just kind of like feeling how the different Democrats and the different Republicans, how they feel about this new proposal, the new proposal announcement, and should they go forward. So they're just doing like verbal conversations and verbal agreement and just taking down notes because the details aren't worked out yet. So Congress people who are in like the problem solving caucus committee, they're also kind of supporting this one, and they're talking about it's all about the language and the numbers and the details, and when it comes down to it, it's going to be the key factors, basically the numbers, the details, and hatching out what gonna go where, can they reduce the number over here, and like really and truly, they should just like go for the $908 billion, right, and just take out the reserve and send out stimulus check to people. You know, go for the $908 billion, get proposed for the PPP program, get proposed for the additional unemployment, in addition to take that $300 billion. Because that's how much they saying it cost last time to get stimulus check out to everybody. It was about almost $300 billion. So you can take that money out of the reserve, put it towards the $908 billion, which will probably come up to like what you got? That's about 1.2, you know, $1.2 trillion, and get it done with before the end of the year. So what they're saying now, at the end of the year now, if you can come back to the table and if more funding is needed, then you can go ahead and make another deal. Like that's like going back to what the problem solving caucus committee was saying earlier, like that 1.9 would have been good. And then we see what happened in the next couple months. So Senator Manchin, who was one of the person who bring forth this $988 billion stimulus package, he's saying that he's having confidence that all the senators are willing to work on this, and they're willing to stay until they get a relief package. So they're willing not to go on break for Christmas. They're willing to stick around, do an extra couple weeks, work out the details, work out the negotiation, and be able to get a stimulus package worked out and get it signed through, so the people won't have to suffer through this season. And because we don't know, this is unprecedented time. We don't know what's gonna go on next. So let's continue to pray. Let's continue to be safe. And let's continue to go about doing what we have to do in order to make things happen, keep the movement going. Make sure y'all continue to be safe. Wash those hands, wear those masks, keep your hands away from your eyes, your nose, and mouth, and continue to be safe. Once again, it's Ainsley Dawkins. If you got some value out of this, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, because I'm gonna be doing some lives. I'm gonna be doing a lot of different things now, because it's like, it's some movements that have to be made. Like, we can't continue to just like wait to see what the government is going to do about this stimulus package and the stimulus check. Right now, they're not even talking about a stimulus check and this new stimulus package. There's no $1,200 stimulus check that will be going out. Now, there's $1,200 weekly. Now there's $1,200 monthly for people who will be on unemployment. But there's no $1,200 stimulus check like there was in the CARES Act. So once again, it's Ainsley Dawkins. Hope you got some value out of this. Please continue to be safe. Peace.